The newspaper reports that Zimbabwe splashes out US 200 million in Sadc summit preparations. This is just, so outrageous when we look at the situation that is in the country right now. Zimbabwe is going through quite a lot. Zimbabwe has no electricity. Zimbabwe has no medication in the hospitals. The roads are potholed. Zimbabweans in the cities have no clean drinking water, and we all see all systems crumbling. The economy is not working. Unemployment is up the ladder. And yet we find Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, prioritizing something else. Right now, as we are speaking, the Harare-Bulawayo road has been stopped. The Masvingo road has been stopped. The other patchings that have been were being done in the main highways have been stopped, all because Mnangagwa has diverted all that money to Harare, where he is just fixing some strips of roads. These strips of roads are the roads that ZANU-PF Farakash are making noise about, saying that Emmerson Mnangagwa is rebuilding the country. The country is becoming a world stage or whatever, a competent country in the whole world, all because they are busy working out on small roads that are some 12 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10-kilometer roads. And all this is just because Mnangagwa is thinking of impressing the Sadc delegation that is coming into Zimbabwe. And I don't know what goes on in their minds, because the Sadc people are not coming to Zimbabwe to come and inspect Zimbabwe and to see whether Mnangagwa is up to standard or not. Mnangagwa, whether he fixes Zimbabwe or not, Mnangagwa still remains an illegal president. Mnangagwa is not elected. The idea of wanting to say, look at how beautiful this road is, which means Mnangagwa must be legitimate. No, that does not change anything, because legitimacy of Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF comes from the Zimbabwean people through the ballot, through elections. And once you are elected that way, then you become a legitimate and legal government in Zimbabwe. That is according to the constitution of Zimbabwe. So the idea of whether Zimbabwe is developing or the roads are beautiful or they are beautiful buildings or whatever it is, that is just a big self-deception that is in the heads of Emmerson Mnangagwa and his people. Right now, there is so much hunger in Zimbabwe. There is starvation in Zimbabwe. Things are not happening, and many families are sleeping hungry because of the situation that is on the ground. And really, it doesn't make sense to find that a certain individual will be thinking that you can make money out of people's misery. You can take money, the little that is there, and splash it out in any way that is not benefiting the people of the land. And if this is what ZANU-PF thinks, then you just get to know what happens in their minds. What happens in their minds is that ZANU-PF are simply good at concentrating on themselves. It's all about themselves. It's nothing about anything else. It's not about us as Zimbabwean people and what it is that we want. It's about themselves. And unfortunately, we can't have a nation that goes that way. We can't have a government that operates the way that ZANU-PF is operating, because definitely this is not it. Zimbabweans need freedom, and we need to be freed from a government that does not care about its people. We need to be freed from a government that misappropriates funds, a government that thinks that the coffers of the government belong to them as a party and not as the pocket that belongs to every Zimbabwean. So the mentality of ZANU-PF, whatever that they came with it from the war, is a very bad mentality, and that is a culture and a system that we need to fight and we need to take out. Mnangagwa cannot continue taking the money that belongs to Zimbabwe and using it according to his own ways and means, and for his own good at the end of the day, just to consolidate his power. We can't allow our own money as taxpayers in Zimbabwe to be the money that is used again to oppress us. That is the problem that we are seeing happening. Mnangagwa is using our own money as Zimbabwean people to oppress us, to remain in power, to buy his way out of different situations. The same way that we've always been talking on how many of these leaders, especially those that are in these liberation parties, have been receiving millions and millions of US dollars paid to them by the ZANU-PF government just for them to continue supporting them, even when they rig elections, they have human rights abuses and all the things that they are doing in Zimbabwe. They would want these guys to continue standing and supporting them. And of course, we have seen it happening. How many times have we been seeing the ANC standing with ZANU-PF all the time, talking about sanctions, and they never talk about the suffering of the masses of Zimbabwe? We heard Fikile Mbalula would talk about Zimbabweans having flooded South Africa because of whatever that they are running away from. That's what he said. Whatever that they are running away from, as if he does not know that their own comrades are making life for the Zimbabwean people very difficult in Zimbabwe. And this is why Zimbabweans need to leave that country and start to look for greener pastures out elsewhere. And this is the thing that we are saying we need to continue standing against. We can't continue as a family to be watching to see Zimbabwe being destroyed by Emmerson Mnangagwa and his family, his cronies and his children, and them calling themselves Veneve Zimbabwe. There is no one who should ever claim that Zimbabwe is his. We want as Zimbabwean people to continue to put pressure on ZANU-PF, and it is time that they must go. This is the season of change, and change must continue to happen. Whether ZANU-PF likes it or not, we are pushing them out. We want to see the back of Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF in this season. We can't have 200 million just used for Sadc. What preparations are we talking about? This is money that could have been planted into hospitals as we speak. And this could have gone a long way. This money could run hospitals for the coming 2 years, all the major hospitals in Zimbabwe. But look at where it has been taken. And our people are dying of diseases that are not supposed to be killing people. Zimbabwean people are losing their loved ones, their relatives, children, parents, through these illicit abuses of money, because Mnangagwa and his government, they do not prioritize the people of Zimbabwe when it comes to the usage of the money that belongs to the national purse. And this can't be allowed to continue. This is a thing that needs to be fought. This is why we are fighting a war of change. This is why Zimbabwean people, we are saying, let us rise up against Emmerson Mnangagwa. Let's not continue to support these people. Let's go against whatever that they want to do. And let's organize ourselves. We want to rise up and demonstrate. This is why we need to demonstrate even during that summit. Let's use that summit to demonstrate against Emmerson Mnangagwa, to send a message to those delegates of that summit, to send a message to Sadc, to African countries, African leaders, and the whole world in general, that Zimbabweans are tired and we don't want to hear anything that has to do with Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. They have stolen enough. They've caused poverty. They've caused sicknesses among Zimbabwean people. They've caused sufferings. They've caused losses of life. Many, many people that are in the graves today in Zimbabwe is as a result of the mismanagement of the nation that we are seeing happening at the hands of ZANU-PF and even Emmerson Mnangagwa this time around. He's made things even worse than what people thought Mugabe was messing up. Mugabe messed up big time, but Mnangagwa has just done worse. And this is the time that Zimbabwean people must continue to rise up, to stand against oppression, impunity, and the rule by autocracy. And that is what we are standing for. Zimbabwe unite, Zimbabwe rise up. This is our time to continue to declare and to demand freedom from Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. Zimbabwe must be freed, and Zimbabwe must rise up. We need a working government, a government by the people for the people, a government that will take care of its own citizens. And this is our demand. We will continue to demand this until victory is certain. Aluta continua, aluta, aluta Zimbabwe. You shall be free. You are getting to your freedom. ZANU-PF will not last forever. And we are putting more pressure upon them. Let's demand and put more pressure. Let's demonstrate and show ZANU-PF that we are sick and tired of them. And I'm telling you, they are going to be out very soon, before we know it, because God is in it. We are fighting the war. We are fighting for freedom. We are demanding freedom. We are not giving up. We are not surrendering until we shall see the back of ZANU-PF. Then our country can start to be a country like any other. And this is our demand. And this is what we want. This is what Zimbabweans want. All Zimbabweans, 3/4 of Zimbabweans, they do know, and including those that are in ZANU-PF, they are sick and tired of leaders like Emmerson Mnangagwa, who are clueless, selfish, and who are not taking the country anywhere. In fact, they are taking our country back to the Stone Age. And that makes Zimbabwe a laughing stock of the world. Let's fight and free Zimbabwe from oppression. Till we meet again in the next show, remember as always to subscribe, to like, and share, and you remain blessed.